So there are opportunities that are hiding in plain sight. And my goal in this video is to show you what one of those opportunities are. We are living through the era of personal software. And by that, I mean, we have an ability to now build different kinds of software, whether that may be web apps or mobile apps or extensions, Chrome extensions, other kinds of software that just wasn't possible a few years ago. And in this video, I want to talk about how in literally 30 minutes, I was able to create and actually deploy a Chrome extension that directly met a need that I had and that I can also now provide to others who have that same need and monetize that experience and a product that's actually a kind of product that's already uh, being sold on the market. So the app is called Blur app. You see, I have there's some other examples of this already. Like you've got Blur web app. The one I originally saw was called Blur It, and you have a bunch of these different kinds of extensions that are on the market. Where in this case, the reason why I was looking for different options is I create YouTube videos, obviously, as you're watching this video currently, and I wanted a way of being able to blur out sensitive data, so like API keys, phone numbers. If I have client data that I'm demonstrating a concept, but I don't want to show client data, then I can use something to just blur it out. I needed a way to just easily blur it out. And so I found that you have these apps on the Chrome store that can actually play that role. Now, this app specifically, Blur It, it was actually pretty dope, and I do recommend it if you want an immediate solution. However, they charge $9.99, and I didn't want to pay for the license. And I actually noticed that this app, Blur It, and interestingly, I can see that they have changed the icon now. But a few days ago, when I first saw Blur It, I noticed that it had a Vercel icon, meaning that more than likely it got built using V0. And so the first thing that told me was that, well, it's probably not that difficult in order to build an app like this. And so just to kind of challenge myself, rather than using this particular app, I said, what would it look like to build out a Chrome extension that does something similar? And so I decided to build Blur app, right? And so I literally went to anti-gravity and I prompted anti-gravity to help me build out something similar that was inspired by the Blur It app, but I kind of put my own twist on it. And so I created Blur app, and it did it literally in just 2 or 3 prompts. I dealt with some errors along the way, and as I was able to make it through there, I got a finished product. These are the files on the left side here, the content.js, the manifest.json. But literally through just one prompt, and I can go up and show what that prompt was. But literally through one prompt, I was able to recreate this concept, and from there, all I had to do was go to the extension area, manage extensions, click on load unpacked, and just select the project that got created, Blur-app. It brought it to this area right here, and then I just had to toggle this on. And but by the way, before you get to this extension tab, you want to make sure that developer mode is on. So at the top right, you see where it says developer mode. You want to make sure that that developer mode is on. And once I had that, it was literally a matter of just testing it out. So if I go over, for example, to the side here, this is Dropcard. This is one of my mobile apps. I can pull up the Blur app, toggle the main part of the app, which allows you to toggle one of the main parts of the app. And if I click element, I can blur different areas. Literally just by clicking, I can blur whole areas. I can blur the whole page if I choose to. And there's also a automatic smart blur. So if I pull up the Blur app again and I toggle smart blur, then it'll blur that whole page. And you see, if I untoggle it, it comes off. And so specifically the API key in this scenario got blurred. I was able to build this in just 30 minutes. And of course, it took a little bit of testing. And if I want to now take it further and actually list it on the Chrome store, the Google Chrome store, then I can go through the steps listed here. I just have to fill out some information, a $5 developer registration fee, create an icon, upload it with a privacy policy, and that's it. Wait 24 hours to a week for a Google review, and you've launched a Google Chrome extension. And so I believe that this is one of the more I'll say it, I don't know if I should call it underappreciated or unseen opportunities, because nobody really talks about Chrome extensions. When you think about apps, you think web app, you think mobile app, but you have a Chrome web store that people list their extensions on. And so something to actually do, if I were to go over to Discover and look at all the different Chrome extensions that are here, you can look and see which Chrome extensions, for example, have bad reviews, and look to see what the reviews are and what customers are asking for improvements with. You can look to find Chrome extensions that are maybe very old, that haven't gotten updated, and maybe you add AI to those Chrome extensions. And so this is definitely a route that you can go down, especially if you're newer to this space of vibe coding and AI assisted building, because through that you can get more familiar with these tools. And with anti-gravity, literally I was able to go from the project to deploying it for testing, for local testing, and then now submit it officially on the store. But this is all a very straightforward process. So Chrome extensions, something to consider, especially if you're new to the space, especially if you want to launch something quickly, and especially if you have a need that is unmet that you're looking to solve. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel. A lot of times, ideas that are out there actually kind of give validation to the space itself around what the solutions people are looking for. And I think the best way of going about it is looking to see, okay, what are people not happy about with existing solutions, and what is simple enough to recreate and put out there for others to use. So not that many people are talking about these extensions, and I just wanted to share that. So Blur app, I will be putting this on the App Store soon. If you would like the repo for it, my repo for it, you can find it in our AI community, Vibe Code Pioneers. Come build with us. And that's it for this one. I'll see you next time.